Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host. So I'm here in Ohio. My teammate Connie is enjoying her evening inside the truck stop right now. Man, it got cold. I was, we were down in Texas and down in Georgia and stuff recently, and we got up here we came up through, Tennessee, Kentucky, got up here to Ohio, and I didn't realize how cold it was. And then right when the sun started going down, I got out to go on the inside, and I was like, man, it feels pretty cold out here. I wonder how, I checked the temperature, it was like 35 degrees. So I think the weather is going to be nice, but definitely in for a chilly evening here in central Ohio. So we're right outside of Columbus. Of course, Columbus is the capital of Ohio, also the largest city in Ohio. It's kind of interesting. The three largest cities in Ohio all start with the letter C. Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. But Columbus, of course, is the biggest of the three. And so anyway, nothing huge to report. But because I know good content when I see it. I was just watching a video. It was uploaded a few days ago of trucker Richie, and his video was about guns and trucks, and he did a great job, and I'll link to his video in the description because I think you should watch it. He's a former law enforcement officer and has an interesting perspective on stuff. But I wanted to kind of piggyback on what he said and offer up some other, advice, alternatives, etc. So, in his video, and you should watch it, but he talks about, carrying weapons, in particular guns, but also he talks about tire billies, all sorts of other stuff. And, mace, tasers, etc., and how in many states or many jurisdictions, because keep in mind states and localities can have rules, a lot of stuff is considered illegal. For instance, I can tell you that in certain jurisdictions, drop point knives, which are basically they're not switchblades, but they just extend automatically with a push of a button. Those are illegal in some jurisdictions. Push daggers, illegal in many jurisdictions. Brass knuckles, pretty much illegal everywhere. So the question is, how do you protect yourself? And he gives good advice. He says, basically, these are my words, but keep your head on a swivel. Know where you are. Park in well-lighted areas. But one of the things that he does talk about is, if there's an independent contractor, the difference between company drivers or people that are driving for big carriers who have policies against having guns in trucks. And one of the things that I've said many times in different scenarios is my belief that having a dog in a truck, and when I say a dog, I know that dogs are come in many sizes, and I love all dogs, but I got to tell you that a Chihuahua is not much of a deterrent. But if you have some bigger dog, or some dog that's known as a dog that doesn't take a lot of crap, like a pit bull or like a boxer, although boxers get pretty big, but German Shepherds, even, I saw a guy with a Doberman the other day. Haven't seen that before. It was a big Doberman. I hadn't really ever seen a trucker with a Doberman. But, a lot of times just pound dogs. You know, dogs are a deterrent to a lot of people. There are people out there that are ill-intentioned, but who are also scared of getting bit. And he was telling a story about a truck driver who shot a guy in a situation that was likely justified, depending, I don't know what state it was in, but the guy pulled his door open, and that kind of goes back to you should kind of keep your doors locked. But also, if this guy had, and I don't know what the outcome of that was. I mean, certainly the police are going to investigate, and and Trucker Richie Rich, because this is his area of expertise, he addressed like criminal liability or culpability with some of these cases. And as an attorney, I never practiced criminal law. I mean, certainly I took criminal law in law school and had to pass it on the bar, etc., but it's not my area of expertise. But I do know a little bit more about tort liability and civil liability. And so in the instance where you could avoid being charged criminally, sorry, I'm going to slide down just here, try to get a little better light, where you could avoid criminal liability for whatever reason, whether it's a stand your ground or you had a permit and that permit was honored in the state you were in, or maybe you had a long gun like a shotgun or a rifle that wasn't considered illegal if you were carrying it properly. And that's another nuance of the criminal law. Like, can you carry, a lot of times you can't carry weapons that are loaded. You can transport them, but you can't carry them loaded. But I would rather face a potential civil suit for my dog biting somebody than I would for killing somebody when the standard is different. So a lot of people say, oh well, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And I get that. I mean, that's just survival instinct, right? But we also I think everybody's bright enough to know that life doesn't really follow the path of these little quips sometimes. And so you want to consider what you can do to protect yourself, but also keep yourself out of trouble, right? Because in some states, just pulling a firearm as a deterrent could be considered brandishing. And somebody might see you with a firearm or pulling a firearm and not know anything about the situation. And the police could come and the person that you were trying to fend off is long gone, and next thing you know, they're like, well, you're not even allowed to have a handgun in this state, and they charge you for it. So that's the thing. And it's like, yeah, maybe you prevented yourself from being a victim of crime, but now you also have a felony on your record, and your livelihood as a truck driver is in jeopardy, big time. So, getting back to the dog thing, I've seen a lot of women truckers with dogs, and he talked about women truckers not being out at night, and how in the trucking industry there's a lot of bad actors that are truck drivers. Okay, let's be candid. I'm at a truck stop that's not really close to any super populated area. There's more distribution centers than anything around here. So if somebody somebody could drive in here and victimize somebody, but for women, the odds of being victimized by a trucker at a truck stop are probably higher than for some person coming into the truck stop that's just up to no good, because the women walking across the parking lot are likely going to be seen by truckers, and somebody coming in would be a very random occurrence for them to just happen to spot a woman and victimize her in whether it's assault or anything like that. But so here comes, and we're in a well-lit parking lot even though it's dark, so here comes my teammate back. But the other thing that you need to keep in mind is that the best defense is a good offense, meaning don't put yourself in situations where you're in an area that you're not comfortable with. That sixth sense really is valuable, and no load is worth your health or safety. And one of the things that what's up, Connie?
Not much.
Oh, one of the things that I always advocate is, if there's an area that you don't feel safe in, then don't take a load in there. Just say, look, I don't feel safe going there. And I've always believed that trucking companies have a responsibility to not send you to dangerous places, right? This isn't combat, okay? It's just delivering, frozen peas, okay? It's not, you shouldn't have to put your life on the line to do this job. And so if you do find yourself in a place that looks, sketchy, go somewhere else. PC out of there if you have to. Who cares, right? It's just a log violation. That beats the hell out of somebody clobbering you with a tire iron. And if your company insists on sending you there, then maybe find another company that doesn't run into, bad areas. But keep in mind that any area can be bad if you're the one that gets mugged or assaulted or worse. So it could be a very low crime area and you could still be the victim if you're not keeping your head on a swivel and stuff like that. So I don't carry a gun on my truck, and for lots of reasons. But when I don't have a student, I have my dog. And I had somebody open my door one time at a receiver, and they closed it really fast when my dog went crazy. So if you're out there and you can have a dog, go to the pound and buy a dog. That dog will be as loyal as you could possibly imagine, and they will guard the truck just like it's your house. And that's not going to protect you outside the truck necessarily, but it'll definitely keep somebody from following you back to your truck, because they know the second you get your door open, the dog's going to be in their face. But the other thing I wanted to say about carrying any kind of weapon, and anybody that's been around weapons or knows about personal defense will tell you this. If somebody gets the drop on you, I don't care how much of a badass you are, you're probably not going to be able to do much about it. And so again, offense, meaning don't let somebody get you the drop on you. Be a little bit cautious. Keep your head on a swivel. There was an incident the other day where somebody that rides in my truck frequently was walking, this was daytime though, was walking back to our truck. And I scared that person because she went around to the passenger side with her key. I went directly to the driver's side. And as she was starting to get in, I was opening up the driver's side door, and it startled her. But the reason it startled her was why, Connie?
Because I didn't look behind me and you were right behind me.
She wasn't even looking around. And I said, Connie, you're walking through a truck stop. You got to keep your head on a swivel, just for like pedestrian safety, but also for personal safety. Like I walked up, I was like 6 feet behind her, and she didn't, because there's always a lot of noise. I was like 6 feet behind her. She didn't hear me. I mean,
I didn't even look back.
She didn't look back. She's being honest about it. And I kind of said something to her. I'm like, you got to protect yourself. You got to, because like I said, I feel like women truckers, or women in not just women truckers, but women who might just be riding with somebody, they're more likely to be victimized by another truck driver, I think, than an interloper, if you will, a non-trucker coming to a truck stop. So, rely on other truckers. And men, you have, in my mind, you have a moral and ethical obligation to protect people, protect women, be a decent human being. If there's somebody sketchy, call them out on it. If there's a woman that that's driving a truck and she feels uncomfortable around somebody, then say something to that person. Let them know they're being watched too. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. Again, thanks to trucker Richie Rich. I think it is an important subject. It can be a dangerous occupation sometimes. But it's incumbent upon all of us to make it as safe as we can for ourselves, but also for other people. So anyway, be safe out there. We're gonna be heading west here tomorrow at some point, and heading into Springfield on Sunday. Yeah. All right. Anyway, have a good Friday evening. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.